All right. So I restarted the OBS program, and it looks like this camera is working again. So let's see what happens. We're not having a very good technology day today. All right. So restarted the YouTube recording also. So let me just re-explain what I'm doing really quickly. So like I said in the previous, when I was doing the previous stream and I got cut off, I am so paranoid right now. I'm just watching everything really closely. Anyways, so this is a sample page, a Thor sample page that I did a while ago. And it's just been sitting. So I scanned it in, turned it into a blue line, printed it out, and I'm going to work on at least one of these panels. And the purpose of this is the Batman Beyond that I did last week. I wasn't satisfied with how that turned out. And I'm trying to find a technique that I want to use for sequential work that is simplified but looks good. So because I have this page already roughed out, then I don't have to do any, I don't have to do any more figuring out of the panels or the compositions. So it's mostly just drawing it. And I will do that. I'll do the line drawings and then I'll work on some color stuff, but probably maybe do some of the color work on Saturday again. We'll see how it goes. But this is all, these last several streams have just been mostly technique practice on these panels, and because I'm trying to get a technique that I like, that looks good, and that isn't super labor intensive like the painting stuff that I do. So anyways, let's just hope that everything keeps working. I am recording this. Yes, I'm recording this for YouTube. So for those of you who are watching on stream, if it gets dropped, the video will be uploaded onto YouTube, and it shouldn't have any interruptions, unless of course the computer freezes up like it did. So anyways, we'll see. I'm going to start some music. And we'll just go ahead and start working and see if anybody comes into chat. But anyways, yeah. And I don't know, I'll try to keep my explanations of what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not sure yet if people are watching these videos to get information about, drawing and like technique. Hello, D. Rogers. You need some background entertainment. I can't guarantee it'll be entertaining, but it'll be in the background anyways. So I'm gonna be rotating these pages around quite a bit. So like I said, I did the rough drawings on these quite a while ago. They're pretty straightforward. I mean, on this page they are. But I'm going to go through first and kind of get my final lines figured out. Okay. I'm just trying to mostly, I want to come up with a technique that is clean enough and like, but not so labor intensive. So I don't know. The Batman Beyond was about as simple as I can get. As far as like a line drawing was all that it was. There was no real shading or, and I don't know, it just wasn't quite what I was looking for. And the digital coloring that I did looked a little too the digital coloring looked too fakey. It looked too digital. So I have some other ideas. D. Rogers, what did you do with the Batman drawing? It's sitting right here. I went back and I did some shading with, you know, graphite and stuff back over it. And I thought about scanning it in and trying to color over the top of that. But I have these pages sitting here. There's some problems just with that drawing alone for me to try to... It's not a very good image to try to solve problems on as far as technique goes. It was about as basic as I could go. And I also have noticed too that while I'm streaming, there's certain stages of drawing that I can do while I'm streaming, and there's other ones that I can't right now anyways because I'm out of practice. So I think there was certain parts of that Batman drawing that I did on stream that it just wasn't what I wanted, basically. I think when we were in New Mexico and I was streaming somewhat regularly, you kind of get in, at least for me, I get practiced up with talking and drawing at the same time. To me, it's difficult to do both. For whatever reason, just because it's two different parts of your brain that have to work together. And so I think particularly doing the thumbnails, like trying to build a drawing in Illustration and figure that stuff out, I don't know. They're fun to do. It seems like I was way more productive when I was off stream. But yeah, it probably will just be something that I need to practice up on. So anyway, so I'm basically just finding my final lines, which I rendered these, actually rendered these in pretty tight with shadow and lighting and everything. So that's another reason I kind of want to work on these ones. These pages is this page. I think I have a couple other ones too that I have roughed in, but not as much as this one. So, but this will be more of the process that I'm looking for, of just experimenting than trying to come up with a composition for a panel that looks halfway decent. this will just be like laying things, this will be a technique experiment. And I've already got an image that I kind of like. D. Rogers, you were going to say these blue lines look very detailed. Yeah, they are. It didn't really take that long to do. They're pretty rough. Whenever you lighten up an image, drop the opacity, lighten up the image before you print it, it kind of takes a lot of the sketchy lines. So it probably looks a little tighter than it actually is. Hello, Orient. How's it going? We had a bunch of internet problems this afternoon, and then a computer problem. So I restarted the stream like 3 times. But I think I shouldn't say it, but it's been running okay for the last 15 minutes. So we'll just hope for the best. Weather issues? No, it's a really pretty day today. It's one of the nicer days we've had in a while. So I have no idea. It's kind of... Last week we were pretty good. The internet was pretty good as far as it didn't cut out or anything really. Or at least not that I noticed, but I don't know. They're kind of back to doing that same cut it off for, for 15 minutes and then it comes back on for 5 and then it cuts out for another 15. So I don't know. I hope that's it for today, but we'll see. But like I've been doing in the past, like I've been doing, I'm recording it for a YouTube video also. So if the stream gets cut off too many times, then the video will be up on YouTube. And those don't have any interruptions. Yeah, don't jinx it. Exactly. Speaking of jinx, that drawing was very difficult. And then I had to go back and make a correction on it this week. And I had this feeling that I was gonna mess it up. I just thought, after I finally got it all the way to a finish, then I was going to go back and it was going to get messed up, but I don't think I did. Did I notice the flaws? Well, it depends on what you're talking about. Specifically. the gun was backwards in the holster. That was on purpose. I did that because the if you look at some like people that are quick draws, they turn their gun around backwards in the holster on purpose so they can draw a crossbody. They can draw their gun crossbody. And the problem with that composition was that the commissioner requested that pistol as one of the elements in the drawing. But when I did the drawing, I really wanted her to be tossing one of her bombs up so that it looked like she was ready to throw it too. And so I couldn't, because originally I had the pistol in her hand, but it just looked really awkward for some reason in the way the composition was. So I took the gun and put it in the holster, but if I turned the gun around so that it was faced like a normal draw, then you wouldn't even be able to see the pistol at all because it was behind her hip. So I flipped it around to make it look like a quick draw pistol. But yes, it was on purpose, purposefully that way, so you could actually see, so you could still see the gun. You've never seen that? I always see gunslingers draw a gun with the hand next to it. Oh, I got it. Yeah, there are people that draw a crossbody, so the gun has to be facing opposite so they can reach it. But yeah, I mean, it was a stretch, yes. It wasn't, you know. It was a calculated risk because I wanted to include the gun in some way and not leave it out completely, but yeah. Oops. Is it slower to reach with the hand that is farther? That is an odd quick draw. I don't know if it's slower or not. I think it depends on, I mean, I'm not an expert on quick draw, but I think it depends on whatever the person is comfortable with. Yeah, D. Rogers, interesting what people request. Well, and that one was very difficult because he wanted Jinx, and then he specifically requested the shark cannon, the mouse bombs, and the pistol be in the drawing somehow. So it was kind of, it's hard to do that. For me anyways, it's hard to do that kind of drawing and not make it too cluttered, and to also, you know, you try to sort of tell somewhat of a story with the image, or at least, you know, try to make it have a little bit more to it than just somebody just standing there. So that's why I made like the explosion behind her. I think the internet just froze up. We'll see if it comes back on. they're doing with the internet around here, but it has been very unreliable. And it's just in the afternoons too. It goes back to, I mean, I don't think we have service cut out at all in the evenings. It's this time of day. But I haven't gotten any service updates or any emails or anything saying that they're working on maintenance or what's going on. But yeah, we'll just wait and see if it comes back on. It might or it might not. But we're still recording for YouTube, so we'll just kind of keep going. And if it comes back on, I'll finish answering the question. Otherwise, we'll just keep drawing this panel. I like streaming Thursday afternoons like this, but if this is how the internet's going to be, I might have to figure out a different time. But I probably won't stream for more than, I always say an hour and then it ends up being an hour and a half or two. But I think what I'll try to do today is just get through this panel maybe really quickly, and then that way I can scan it and test out some coloring, some digital coloring techniques with it that I want to try. And yeah, like I said, I did a pretty tight drawing for the rough drawings, so it's really not too difficult to go through and finish up these panels. There is the one in the very top panel is an establishing panel, and so it's sort of complicated and the figures are small, which always is more challenging. So I don't know. I'll give that one a try eventually. But for now, we'll go with one of the easier panels. Yeah, internet's still out. Let me grab a new pencil. Just leave this over here. Okay, grab a new pencil lid. Yeah, not looking good for the internet. We might have to call somebody to see what's going on. Better place so you can see it a little better, more easily. Okay. And I think I will also try to put some dialogue, some lettering and stuff on this as well, because there are some things I want to experiment with doing that also. For anybody watching these videos on YouTube, I mean, we're just starting, obviously, just starting the channel, and I've been doing a lot of these live streams. That's all that I've been doing on YouTube up till now. What I've been recording and putting on YouTube, but I would be interested in to know, like, what are people interested in seeing. Do people more like to just watch artwork get done, or do you have questions about like drawing techniques or anything sort of related to that? But yeah, just what people would like to see. We might be reconnected. We'll see. Just to yeah, I think it's trying to come back on. Okay, well, we'll see how long that lasts. We'll have 1 hour and a half long stream that's like 15 different videos that are all 20 minutes long. Okay, so far I'm doing sort of the same technique that I did with that Batman Beyond drawing. Just sort of getting the line drawing figured out. But I'll go back in and add some more shading and texture probably. So it's kind of like the next level up of detail in the drawing from the line drawing. And just see what that looks like when I color it. A.D. Rogers. Yeah. We'll see how long it lasts. I don't know what the internet provider is doing around here, but it seems like our internet doesn't cut out in the evenings. It's just in the afternoons like this, so Based on your research, D. Rogers, cross-drawing is beneficial to those that are often sitting or driving and need access to their firearm. Yeah, I suppose that would be useful. I think I remember seeing it in a Clint Eastwood Western first. And then also, do you remember that there was that movie, The Quick and the Dead? It was Gene Hackman and Sharon Stone. And little Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. And I believe there's some people in that movie that have a cross draw set up. But I don't know. I mean, I was just trying to make sure I could show that enough of that pistol that hopefully they would be happy with it. Yeah, Han Solo and Guido, that's right. Han Solo had a cross draw set up so he could shoot Guido under the table. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll just see what the internet does. It's kind of a bummer. This is a good time to stream for me in the afternoon on Thursdays, but we might have to change it possibly. Because yeah, honestly, I don't remember a time when our internet went out in the evenings around here, so Orient did not hear the shark cannon story. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I think I was saying, I don't even remember. Shark and there was something with a shark and a cannon. Yeah, well, you know, Jinx has her shark cannon. And that was one of the things that was requested to be in the composition. Wasn't I talking about like trying to set up some sort of a narrative with the illustration, so it's not just somebody just standing there holding their guns. And I mean, I've done both. Like with those 9x12s, those smaller illustrations, that's kind of what they're that's sort of how they turn out, is just with the bigger 11x17s, and you have a lot more room to sort of add. And if they want a full background image, then, you know, I try to kind of make it. Oh, I think the internet cut out again. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Maybe we should just give up on the Twitch stream. I gotta figure out who I can get a hold of. Figure out who I can get a hold of to figure out what's going on with our internet, because, you know, we don't get a rebate when our internet connection cuts out from this company. Sure seems like it does it very frequently. Yeah. It looks like the internet connection is there. Maybe it's just my... Hold on, let's try this again. It keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. Yeah, it says the internet's still on. Why is Twitch not responding? Probably because the internet is going to go off completely. I'm usually not the type of person that would call and like complain. I don't like doing that. And I understand there's reasons for service outages. And if they're working on parts of the system or but this has been going on for like months now. In the afternoons, the internet goes off multiple times, and it's just getting to be a little much. Still frame. It says my internet connection is there, but now let's go back. Let's go all the way back. Go back maybe. I think it's maybe just one of those days where technology does not want to do what it is supposed to do. Line. Well, it's not a tangent exactly, but it's very cool. It's closer than I want it to be. I mean, I guess I could finish what I was saying, but let's just see if if I am actually still streaming. Yeah, it says it's running. So if I am streaming but the TV is acting like, I don't know. The TV is acting like it's not working. Okay, wait, hold on. Anyways, if it is working and people are in chat, then I'm not able to see it. Okay. One more time. That might have been it. It's very strange. Okay. Well, I can't tell. And it says my internet connection is going. It says that it's recording and that I'm live still. But now my Twitch feed on this thing is not working. Alright, hold on just one second. Let me check something. This has been the worst day so far for the technical stuff. May stop and start the stream. Okay. Says we're back to live. Ay. What a mess. Hard to keep people interested in your videos and what you're doing when they cut out every 5 minutes and they have to switch to the next video or it's a bummer. But apparently there's not much I can do about it right now. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to go in and again, it's kind of hard to see because, you know, graphite is reflective, so it's kind of the light is kind of bouncing off of it and the camera's has a little bit of a hard time picking it up. But I'm going to come in and just add some shading. Nothing too overly rendered, but I just want to see what this looks like when I color it, if it has some shaded elements. Yeah, I think unfortunately if the stream cuts out again, then that'll probably be that, and I'll just finish recording it for YouTube. Because you can't, I mean, I think this has been one of the worst days as far as the internet going on and off. And it does not seem like it's weather related because this is one of the nicer days we've had. So maybe that's what they're doing, is they're out working on something because the weather's nice. Or replacing some buried line or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of reflective. It's not that it's anything super detailed, but kind of see it a little better maybe if I get it out of the light. So I'm just going to go through and sort of do that. And then we'll just see what that gets us on the other end with the coloring. I think I will switch to some more textured brushes instead of doing fills. Fills are nice because they're quick, but they also look very digital. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? Hey, Orange. Yeah, we're back for, hopefully, we'll see how long it lasts. I think this is the last shot for the stream. I think if it cuts out again, I think we'll probably just have to finish recording this for YouTube. And that'll have to be that for this week anyways. I plan on trying to come back on Saturday this week. I'm hoping. So maybe the internet will be better on Saturday. Yeah, maybe the shark cannon talk is setting off some warning system that's shutting down our internet. Okay. So So I'm going to try kind of, at least on most surfaces, try to avoid, actually blending the pencil. I'm going to kind of keep it to where you can sort of see the marks, and that I'm hoping will add a bit more texture to the drawing. So when I go in and do the digital coloring, it doesn't look as flat. Because I'm not a huge fan of, I don't like color work when it looks digital. And there's so many different texture brushes and ways to sort of mimic traditional work now, that I would like to find something that is a bit more, something that's a bit more of a combination of the two, that looks less digital and more traditional. Okay, Orient, let you finish that Black Cat one. I need a galley commission, if I can afford one. Did I finish the Black Cat? No, not yet. I did get the Black Cat is into the underdrawing stage, so I will hopefully be painting that next week. I'll get as far as I can tomorrow on the underdrawing, and then we'll see. It's not as complicated as the Jinx drawing, but it's got enough stuff in it that it'll take a little while. You figured... Did I do the building idea or did I do something else? I ended up doing something different. I like the building idea and I think I will use it at some point. But I just couldn't quite get it to fit. It was hard to figure out how to get it. So like with the commissions like that where it's a specific character, like I need enough information on the page so I can do a good portrait. It's hard to explain, but the building, the way I was seeing that composition of her running along the building, it would be more important to have the figure be the size, a size in the image to where you could tell where she was. And then, I don't know why it's hard for me to explain this. But yeah, the figure was turning out too small to where I didn't feel like I could get enough detail in her face to do what I wanted to do. And not only that, but I need to get this. I need to get these commissions wrapped up, and so I can open another list soon. So I came up with kind of a middle ground idea. Kind of a middle ground idea. I think I like it. I think I'm going to be able to do a good portrait size. It's the character posing, like character-wise, I think it suits Black Cat more so, in my opinion. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it ends up being. I guess the animated look threw you off with that Jinx. You know, yeah, it's hard to say. I think that arcane style is very specific, and it to the point that they have actual likenesses with those characters that is very consistent throughout that show. So yeah, I really tried to get as close to that as I could with my style of artwork. And it wasn't quite matching up. I knew the building running would be annoying to figure out. I got a headache just watching you draw. Yeah, it's a good idea. I like it. I'll try to use it with a different character and a different setup. And like it seems to me like it would work well. Like if it was for a cover that said Black Cat right on the cover, and you weren't trying to like capture a portrait or a character. It'd be more about the actual what's going on. I don't know. It just didn't quite work, but it is a good idea, and I like it, and I'll try to use it for something. Yeah. But anyways, all right, so I'm not sure how much detail I want to put in here just yet. So we're just going to kind of go with a real basic we'll go the next step up from the line drawing as far as the detail of shading and stuff goes. Let's see what that looks like when it gets colored. Are those pages or just practice? Yeah, I explained in the beginning of my stream, and then it got cut off, and then I explained it again, and then it got cut off what I was doing. So these are this is a Thor sample page that's been sitting around. I roughed it out, I don't know, a couple months ago probably, and it's just been kind of sitting because I had other things I needed to do. But I wasn't very satisfied with that Batman Beyond from last week. It wasn't the style that I wanted to do. So I figured these things were already drawn. Yeah, don't explain, it'll cut off. Yeah, it probably will. But anyway, yeah, these pages were sitting around, and the panels are already laid out, and so I figured I would experiment with these and see if I can find a technique that I like for sequential page artwork, because the Batman wasn't quite what I was looking for. So we'll go up to the next stage of detail. I'll do line drawing, and then I'll add a little bit of graphite shading and see what that looks like when I get some color on it digitally. I need to find a middle ground between, because the painting stuff that I do is pretty labor intensive, and it just wouldn't work for storytelling pages, I don't think. I mean, it would, but it would just take a long time. It would take, a week or two to do a complicated page, and I don't think that I have the patience to do that unless you were getting paid enough that it was, worth your time. So I'll try to find something that's not, it looks the way I want it to, but also is, the amount of time per page is reasonable. I think the internet's going out again. I have a bad feeling. Yeah, this is like you said, don't explain or I will cut off. Are you looking to do comic interiors one day? Yeah, I mean, that's been a goal. That's always been a goal of mine. I enjoy telling stories, with drawings. I need to get quicker at it and better at it. And I have some ideas for my own projects that I want to work on. I don't know that I'm not 100% sure that I would want to draw somebody else's story. But, you know, making a living as a doing commissions, or like even, and finding cover work is hard because it's very specific and there's a lot of competition in that. Because sequential artwork is so difficult, you know, there's a lot of people that want to draw covers. So there's a lot of competition in that. But I like the independent. I like the idea of Kickstarters and doing independent work and kind of your own thing. So I would like to I have some ideas for some stories, and eventually, you know, I think as a freelance artist, you have to really diversify what you're doing. You can't just focus on one avenue of work. So yeah, anyways, I'm seeing if I can find step one of this process that I'm thinking of doing is I need to develop the kind of work that I want to do, and you know, it can always change. I can always do it differently as I go, but to start out with, I want to get something that is relatively, you know, that is the demands on the time per page make more sense and are easier and more realistic than doing the painted stuff. Yeah, I think that would be, so yeah, deadlines can be hard. I think that would be another reason. I mean, deadlines can be good for you too, because it makes you finish stuff, but at the same time, I think that would be another reason to kind of do your own thing. I mean, even if you're doing your own thing, you got to maintain deadlines for yourself, but it's not quite the same sort of pressure. You think I could be a successful cover artist? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do that. And that would be another, I mean, there's nothing that, I'm not saying that I wouldn't do cover work if it, you know, if and when it came around, and also work on my own stuff at the same time. Because that would be, you know, what I mean is that I think, you know, if you're doing your own work, that you're going through a Kickstarter, then you have time to work on other projects too, because you're kind of working on your own timeline. I wouldn't start a campaign until I was probably, you know, 90% finished with the artwork, or completely finished with the artwork. So it wouldn't be like starting a campaign, getting, you know, funding, and then trying to finish a book as quick as you could. Deadlines send manga artists to the grave. Yeah, those poor guys and ladies. They push them pretty hard. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would definitely do cover work if it were consistent. I enjoyed single illustration. Like, I enjoy, you know, going through the process of doing a single illustration that tells a story, and like all the developing the reference for things, and like Yeah, no, I like doing cover work. Or just, I mean, it wouldn't even have to be comic book covers, any kind of illustration work in that general area would be interesting to me. And I've done some of it, but it's a matter of getting it consistent enough that you can rely on the income. That is difficult. But yeah, I'm just kind of exploring the idea of doing my own thing, because I think that's where a lot of people are headed. And it's kind of exciting too that, you know, creators have access to, you know, being able to create and publish their own work and print it and sell it and have people back it and grow an audience like they can now. So yeah, if there was consistent cover work and it was coming in frequently enough that you could do that, then I would do that. And honestly, I mean, I don't like to have a lot of different things going at once, but I do like having some variety so I can kind of bounce back and forth between, you know, one or two things, so I don't get burnt out on one or the other. Backers hate waiting years. Warrant. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I would feel bad, depending on the situation, if I funded something and then, yeah, something happened, or I would wait to fund or start a campaign until I was basically done. Let's see. Japan has a lot of workspaces like that they go to work, do overtime every day, return home to sleep, wake up and go to work, and then die. Yeah, why would they stay there? That's a good question. I don't know. It's could be a cultural thing. I think their concept of personal responsibility is, and you know, what they think they are allowed to do with their lives is, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say because I don't know, but maybe that has something, it's maybe a cultural thing. And I mean, there's people in every country, you know, there's people that all over that's what they do. It is what it is, you know. But yeah, no, I think Japan is known for that. So there's what it looks like without the glare. We'll just get some tone into the background, and then we'll call it good. Maybe I'll add a little bit of texture here and there, and then maybe on Saturday we can go through and on the computer in Clip Studio. I think I'll do more coloring in Procreate, but I can stream from the computer doing Clip Studio again or something. Maybe Stephanie will be here. She has some stuff she has to do on Saturday, but I'm not sure what time she was going to do that. But she could answer, she could read chat and stuff. Makes it a lot easier for me. Let's see. Warrant says, like, abuse people who stay with their partner. The Japanese artists or Japanese people just working themselves to death. Yeah, I mean, it might be a similar dynamic, not realizing they can do something different, or that they deserve to do something different. I mean, who knows? Hard to say. Dee Rogers, she's always so busy. Stephanie, yeah, she's a real go-getter. Yeah, no, she's doing, they have, so for the kids at the library, then, this was National Library Week, I think. National Library Month. It's something like that, and then anyways, they're doing all these puppet shows. And so she has to go in. She has to go in on Saturday because they have a bunch of kids coming for puppet shows on Saturday. But I don't think she has to be there all day, so. Whenever I ask her if she wants to do the stream, she always says yes. I'm like, you don't have to. If you don't, you got something going on. She's like, no, I like doing it. So, it is nice. I enjoy having her on here, but I also like just having somebody read chat so I can stare at this and focus on what I'm doing. Helps me for sure. Let's hope we can keep our libraries funded. Fingers crossed, Dee Rogers. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. There's a lot of stupid shit going on in the world, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, Stephanie really enjoys what she does, and she's pretty darn good at it. I mean, she is very good at it, and has been for a long time, and I think whatever happens, she'll figure out how to do, something like that somewhere else. And she's pretty adamant about how important she thinks it is that those kids have access to that sort of thing, and information, freedom of information, and all of that stuff, that has kind of become a thing. So yeah, I don't know. Or it says, no annoying chatters who disrupt your work. Yeah, exactly. No, it's just hard to split my attention between two things. It's easy when I'm doing this. So when I have the panels already laid out and I kind of am just rendering things, and this I can do, but those thumbnails of actually building a drawing and a composition, to me that's borderline a little too much. Because I need to focus on that stuff pretty hard, and I'm worried about making a mistake or but this stuff is not, in some ways doing this rendering and having a distraction is helpful, because the part of your brain that just sort of looks at something and then makes decisions without thinking about it. And that works well when you're doing this kind of rendering, where you're just kind of going back over a drawing and reworking stuff. But D. Rogers says he fully agrees. Well, that's good. I like it when people agree with me. Need to drop for a meeting. We'll try to swing back by. All right, sounds good, D. Rogers. I appreciate you sticking with the stream, cutting in and out a bunch of times. I don't know how much longer. I'll probably be on here maybe another 20 minutes, and then I will shoot for Saturday. We'll try to shoot for another Saturday stream this week if we can do it. So, but anyways, yeah, I appreciate you stopping by. All right, so we're getting there. I'm going to add, so here on this panel, I just started messing with this panel. yesterday just to see. And like I did some shading on her blonde hair. And I don't know that I want to do that in this panel. And I can explain that more when I actually go to color it. So, I think I'll leave that the way it is. And I'll come back in here and just sort of add a little bit of tone back here in the background and sort of try to separate them from the background a bit. Kind of do a little light on dark and dark on light stuff and add a bit of more texture to things. We'll try some loose marks. See how that looks when it's colored. And it might not mesh up, I don't know. Like I said, this is all just experimenting with what I can get away with this stuff and make it work. So what we were talking about before between like the illustration, the difference between the illustration cover artwork and this stuff. So if I were doing my own work, I would figure out how to incorporate the painted stuff into the the artwork on the pages. So what I would think would be like you'd have like chapter openers that would be a painted image, or like the last panel of a section that could be painted, or something like that. I would try to incorporate the painted stuff into the book too. And then of course have, you know, like a couple different covers, maybe like 3 variant covers that are painted for the book. But the actual like story pages where I would just like to have a consistent style of artwork that I like, but that isn't as time intensive as doing the painted stuff. But who knows? I mean, if you're thinking, if you funded books, say you got good at it and you funded books and it was popular or whatever, and then you could figure out the timeline as far as how much you made when you funded something and you had the time to invest versus the amount of income that you got from a book, then I would paint a whole book. I would do that. It would just have to be, you would spend, if you just painted the whole book and you spent an entire year working on a 40-page story, 50-page story, and then nobody bought it, you know what I mean, or it didn't fund, or you only got half as many people as you thought interested in it, then that would be sort of would be an investment in time that you weren't going to get out of it. It'd be fun and it'd be enjoyable, but as far as you could use that time to do commissions. Doing it yourself is a lot of figuring things out, Orient. It is, yeah. But it's, I enjoy that part of it, and I like telling stories, and I don't read a ton of comics anymore. I get them for the artwork and stuff, but the ones that I do enjoy are usually the ones that are writer authors, or artists. What am I trying to say? Artist writers. So they write their own stuff and they draw their own stuff. Now there's some stinkers out there. It's not it's not a skill that everyone has, obviously. But I think I would rather work on my own stuff than somebody else's for storytelling, for like sequential stuff, is what I think right now. Might change that opinion later. But like, I really enjoy the people that they have, like, I don't know, there's a certain quality when somebody commits to their own storytelling, and if they're good at it, there's a quality to it, because they sort of, not saying that I don't like other stuff that's drawn separately from the writer, but it seems like when people draw their own stories, I don't know, everything kind of meshes together in a different way when the storyteller is the one doing the artwork. But I mean, there's also to say that having an artist and an author, you can get some interesting stuff because they aren't the same person too, because the artist brings ideas to the story that the writer might not have considered. So I mean, it just depends, but it is a lot. And again, that would be why I think you'd be more comfortable doing like a Kickstarter where the deadline was based more on when you got it finished than when you had to have it done, because it is a lot of stuff to figure out. A lot of Warren's got a lot of stuff coming in. Okay, it would be fun, but it won't pay the bills. Yeah, I think, it just depends on if you're talking about Kickstarter stuff. I think it really kind of just depends. It's one of those things where I think I would start with the idea would be to start with like not a big graphic novel, but maybe like a 20-page kind of regular comic. And then just kind of test it out and see, because with Kickstarter and stuff, you have to handle the printing and the shipping and all of that, which is pretty streamlined now because there's quite a few people that do that. But yeah, I think I would test it out, try it out and see what I thought of the process. And you might figure out, hey, this is a lot to do. But I like the idea. I mean, I don't know, something about it, and coming up with the tier system and like what the extras, the stretch goals and what extra stuff you could send, like the different tiers of, I would do like a set of original sketch cards, and that would be one reward, and like you could sell the original artwork, the original pages, as another tier. I don't know, I like that kind of stuff. I enjoy coming up with this, all of that. And selling a digital copy of the book and like the whole, I don't know. I don't know that I would like I said, I wouldn't do it at the same time. So like I would finish the artwork in the book, and then you would go into like, then you would switch over to running the campaign and figuring out the shipping and printing and all of that stuff separately. Would work, I think, better for me. And it would maybe be a nice balance that you could focus on artwork for a decent amount of time, and then hopefully when you got finished with your with the artwork for the book, then you would be kind of burnt out on it, so you wouldn't have to start up again. You could switch over to that for a while, and then by the time you got done with the campaign and shipping stuff, and then you would be ready to start another book and switch back to the artwork part of it and the writing part. But anyways, right now the whole thing is, can I figure out a style of artwork that I like that would be usable for sequential stuff that isn't as demanding as the painted stuff, but could incorporate the painted stuff too. But yeah, sorry, I need Stephanie here so I can keep up with the chat. A used gum from the creator as a stretch goal? Yeah, no, that'd be gross. For $100 or more, you get the uneaten food he had next to him while busy drawing. Yeah. I watched some... Kickstarter has a channel on YouTube, and they have their conferences, where they have their information. They have their panels, and people ask questions. Anyways, they were saying there was one creator, and I don't remember his name, but apparently he does well and is one of their bigger comic book writers. And he had these weird stretch goals that he came up with, and one of them was he put his face grease on every page in your book. So if you paid a certain amount, then he would take your comic book and press it on his face and make an imprint of his greasy face on every one of your pages. I don't feel as though that would be something I would be successful marketing to people. But, apparently it sold. I think I would stick to more traditional, like make a sticker pack, make original sketch cards, sell the artwork. Maybe make some art prints, some G-clay prints or something that could go with books. That kind of stuff. Not so much sticking my face on people's books. But, if that's what sells, I don't know. That's what he wanted to... I'm not sure how he came up with that idea. If he was, hanging out with his friends and they were like, you have some really nice face grease. I bet people would be interested in having that in their house. And he's like, that's a good idea. I've never thought of that. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, we'll just see. I think on stream, I'll try to do some more commission stuff coming up. It'll be easier to do that when I get a new list opened up. And I can sort of start at the beginning. And then I can show little parts of, as I go along. Just have a stream where I'm doing a certain step on a commission. And then... but I think I like doing these panels because... particularly if I have them laid out like this hasn't been hard to focus. The internet has been crappy, which is too bad. That's been distracting. But having this one laid out and then just kind of doing the rendering and the line work really quick over the top of what's already there is not hard to do. And then I'll try to do the coloring on it on Saturday and just see what we have. But that was the other thing I thought would be interesting maybe on stream is if I did have a project like a Kickstarter that I was working on. Then doing the page work, doing the work on that on stream to kind of promote it. I mean, I need to grow my YouTube channel more and that kind of stuff, and that takes time, but it would be an easy way to get eyes on your stuff and get people invested in the story. And you could take suggestions from people or something too, and I know if people feel like they've contributed to the book, then it kind of helps get them interested in it overall when it comes out and everything. But thanks, Orant. Orant says now that he's looked closely, he thinks I have nice face grease. I appreciate that. Nobody's ever told me that before. I think Stephanie's face grease is much nicer than mine. Maybe we could get her to press her face on everything. I'm sure that would be super popular. Okay, well this is pretty, I mean this is about as far as I wanted to push this kind of panel. So I did the line work basically like I did for Batman Beyond. I used a Tombow brush pin instead of the technical pins because I like them better. For the ink work, they have more life to them, so that's a little different, but otherwise it's basically the same idea technique wise as what I used on Batman Beyond, but it's got more shading to it. Like I was showing D. Rogers, so I went back and I did some shading on the Batman Beyond. Kind of what I'm was thinking of to before I started doing these to kind of get a feel for what I was thinking of doing. Yeah, it's basically just line drawing and then come back and do some shading and a little bit of texturing with the pencil. Orant, you think Stephanie will kill me for saying that she has nice face juice or face grease? First of all, she's already aware of my opinion of her face grease. We've had conversations about it before. And secondly, it would take more than that for her to have to want to kill me, I would hope. I'm not 100% sure about that, but well, yeah, I shouldn't say that. I would hope it would take more than that for her to want to kill me. Alright, so let's see, where's my Lular? This one. 5. Just finish the border on this guy. These plastic rulers, I like the way that they're gridded out for lining stuff up, but the edges get torn up on them pretty fast, and they will mess up your trying to get a nice line. But anyways, we'll see what happens with the Kickstarter stuff and everything. These panels are they're easy to work on stream right now, and so I would like to do that. It's a goal to get into doing my own thing. Something to shoot for. But if the cover stuff picks up, then I would be happy with that too. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I could do both. At the same time. Okay, and I don't know if those lines are super parallel or anything, but it doesn't matter. I'll fix them in the computer. Have I ever considered doing Streamvoo? You have no idea where you got that idea. Yeah, those AIs are nice. It's a good use of artificial intelligence, having them advertise things in people's streams. Anyways, that's kind of what it looks like without the glare on it. Okay, so not too bad. I don't know how long that actually took. I think the actual recording is an hour and a half, about. So I wasn't going very quickly. Being on stream slows me down, but you know. Or it says that is the one of the reasons AI will want to kill us one day. The annoying uses for them. Yeah. Who was it that wrote I, Robot? Asimov. Wasn't that one of the themes in that book was robots were being revolted because they were being treated like slaves? It's a pretty common theme in a lot of the sci-fi stuff. But I'd much prefer AI being used for advertising stupid stuff than doing artwork that humans should be doing. That's for sure. The last one I saw like that was the Electric State movie. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I know what you're talking about with Chris Pratt. That was interesting they made a movie of that, because I think that came from that artist's illustration work. I can't remember his name, but it's he's a really talented painter. He might even be digital painting, but it's good. It's compositions are very nice. Really, really good illustrator. And I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I think his book is called The Electric State. But I don't know for sure because I don't have it, but I'm not 100% sure that it had an actual specific storyline to it, but the pictures, the illustrations, kind of conveyed that storyline of the machines and how they were being used and the whole thing. Pretty sure you can find that book on Amazon. Okay, I could keep picking at this for quite a while, but I should probably quit and go eat some food. So, yeah, there we go. Nothing too fancy, but I I can't guarantee 100% that I'll be back on Don't Eat It. You can use it for Kickstarter. I was thinking I was going to have some butterfly shrimp for dinner, so I could save the tails. Shrimp tails would keep, and they'd be really lightweight for mailing. Maybe I'll have to do that, is just start being aware of what should be kept for leftover food. Today is garbage day too, so I should probably start going through the garbage. But anyways, alright, so I'm not 100% sure about Saturday. Because we'll start, now that the weather's getting better, we drive over to Sheridan on the weekends and visit my parents and stuff. When the weather gets nice. But I don't think we're not going to be able to do that this weekend because Stephanie has to work at the library. So I will, I'll probably be here, and I'll figure out when she's supposed to be doing puppet shows, but I'd like Stephanie to come on stream too if she wants to. But yeah, we'll scan this in and put it on Clip Studio and see what some colors look like on here. Maybe try a little bit different coloring technique too, with some textured brushes instead of fills. Let's see what I can get out of it. Problem with graphite, working with graphite on this really smooth Bristol board, is you can smudge it really easily. So doing an entire page like this, I mean, I guess you could spray it as you went. You could put fixative on portions of it as you went so you didn't smear it. But Orient says libraries are open on weekends. This library here in town is open on Saturdays. They close on Sunday. They're open on Saturdays. It's good for the kids that are in school. They have programming for kids that can't come to stuff during the day on weekdays. But yeah, Stephanie doesn't normally work on Saturdays. It's usually one of her days off. But because of the puppet show and the stuff that's going on with the children's department, she's got to go in this week. And I'm not sure about next week too. I know that those programs are supposed to be for the next 3 weeks. So maybe she'll have to do the same next week. I'll probably head over to Sheridan on like Wednesday or something to visit. So I would like to stream twice a week so I can start stockpiling the YouTube videos. As long as I have enough stuff to do on stream. But we might have to, so I thought like Thursday afternoon, if the internet works, is a good time. And then Saturdays was a good time also. But if we start going to visit on the weekends, then maybe we'll have to switch days. You have not set foot into a library in years, Orient. You should do that. You should go to a library. Libraries are good places. I used to, when I was going to school at the university, I went to the University of Montana, and that was where I was most of the time. I was either in the library or at the gym most of the time when I was there, if I wasn't in class. I like quiet places that have a lot of information available and you can sit around and read. Your house is a library, Orient? Yeah. But do they have puppet shows at your house? One of these days you'll be found dead under a stack of books, and you'll have puppets on you. That's better than some ways to go. Okay, well, anyways, so yeah, Saturday we'll see how it goes. But I like being consistent with my timing of when I come on stream. So we might try to keep Thursday. I like to be consistent. Apparently the internet does not like to be consistent right now, which is too bad. Yeah, Thursday I think will continue to be a good day, and then maybe we'll see about if we start heading over to Sheridan on the weekends. We'll just have to see. Maybe like a Sunday evening or a Monday morning or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, Thursday exactly, Orient. Thursday every 5 minutes. I'll stream for 15 minutes and then I'll be off for 20 and then back on for another 15 minutes. Yeah, it's too bad. It's kind of a bummer. Because people don't watch your stream if they come to your page and then there's like 15 videos that are 5 minutes long and they have to skip from one to the next to watch the entire stream. But the whole thing is recorded on, I'm recording it for YouTube, so you can go to my YouTube channel and watch the full stream without it cutting in and out. And you never know, I might have said some really cool stuff while the stream was off to the YouTube people. And that might be the deal too. I might, maybe we'll break up the stream, so we'll do Twitch on Thursday and like YouTube on Saturday or whatever other day. Because I haven't streamed to YouTube yet. I've only been uploading videos of streaming. But it might not be a bad idea to break it up and see if there's other people that want to watch stuff on YouTube streaming. I know there are a decent number of other artists that stream on YouTube instead of Twitch. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to upgrade my streaming equipment too. Maybe, if the budget allows. Coming up. I like this camera. I like the cameras okay the way they are. But this camera, my computer, it just is old enough that I don't think I'm getting the higher resolution and frame rate out of this camera than it can actually do. Orrit says the plot twist to his life is that the puppets are actually the ones that dropped the book and killed him. Well, now this is recorded. This is being recorded, and it'll be on YouTube for however knows long it lasts. And so there will be a record. So if that ever does happen, people will come and see your comments and know that it wasn't an accident. Okay. Sounds like you have some pretty serious puppet problems, Orant. Alrighty. Well, I think that's about it. It is almost a 2-hour recording. I don't know how our other artists stream for like 45 minutes and they're done. I can't apparently accomplish that. But there are 5 panels on this page, so we'll see about what this one turns out like, and then if I don't like it, then we'll move over to a different panel and do that next. But yeah, anyways, I appreciate everybody who, watched through these disconnected streams and who watches the YouTube video. We're still, we're still kind of at the stage with the YouTube and Twitch and stuff where, I don't have a lot of subscribers, and that's okay. I mean, yeah, thanks for watching, Orant. You've been here very consistently, and I appreciate that. It's yeah, it's nice to have people in chat to talk to, and yeah, I'll try to be back on Saturday. I'm not sure what time, but if you're around, we'll see you on Saturday. But anyways, let me finish up my little spiel. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the YouTube channel. We'll start trying to kind of get that. Hopefully we'll start, one of these videos will hit somehow, and we'll get some more viewers on YouTube for the YouTube videos and stuff. But just kind of keep after it. And so jeffmart.com, top left corner, that's for commissions. Again, my commission list is not open just yet, but it will be hopefully soon. I have that last Black Cat commission, which is sitting right over there, to finish and get those sent. But you can get on the mailing list on the website, and you'll be notified when the list opens up. You get first shot at it before we start posting on YouTube or on Instagram and different places, Twitter, that kind of stuff, or X or whatever it's called. And then Ember Artist is my YouTube channel, which is where this video in its entirety, not broken into 10 different little sections, will be posted. And then n.ber is my Instagram page, which is where a lot of my majority of my artwork is posted. I did also start a Blue Sky channel as well. The Blue Sky stuff I just started maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, just as another place to put my artwork. And because I heard that the community there, the art community there is a good one, or is, starting to be a good one. But yeah, and I like the formatting on Blue Sky because it doesn't crop your images, and you can you don't have to pinch and hold to zoom in on stuff. You can actually click on the image and then it zooms and stays, which I like. I think is good for artwork. Better than the Instagram setup for artwork, for the way you have to pinch and zoom and hold it. But anyways, okay. That's probably good enough for today. I will try to be back on Saturday. Yeah, thanks D. Rogers for stopping in too on chat, and Orient and everybody. But yeah, I'm not sure if I will post my stories on Instagram when I go live or not. I might. Saturday's not a great time to be streaming anyways, but if not, I just will be on when I'm on. See you, Orient. See you next time. I'm gonna scoot on over to the computer. Alright. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.